Hi, this is Kurt Barone, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
We have a Texas firefighter. Now I have to tell you, I want to know the truth of this before I even get in. I want to know, I can't wait to see how this turns out. Because if I'm the department and I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm defending this with a video. So here's what happened. So a Texas firefighter claims that the termination was retaliation for participating in sexual harassment investigations and for making claims, etc. So basically what happens is we have a firefighter in Texas who's demoted, ultimately fired after complaining about a now retired chief's alleged sexual harassment. And the firefighter claims that he witnessed sexually harassing behavior of the fire chief, again, who since resigned, which raises some question about legitimacy. When you hear this, we don't know why he resigned, right? We just, he has resigned. In any event, a female HR employee complained to that firefighter also about the fire chief's behavior. It was reported, but the new I guess the deputy fire chief then discovers a handwritten note. I don't really know much about the note, but discovers a handwritten note on his desk, questions the male firefighter about the note. And then apparently the deputy chief was acting unprofessional and threatening. And then 2 days later, right, short in time with this allegedly unprofessional and threatening conversation, 2 days later, the male firefighter is placed on administrative leave from his position as the training chief without a really good explanation. So here's what's really interesting. And let's finish. So shortly thereafter, he said, the male firefighter says, I'm going to the EEOC for help, which is where one avenue of making complaints about unequal enforcement. And then there were him and two other employees participated in the investigation into the fire chief's harassing behavior. But then in December 21, just recently, he was taken off administrative leave. And then almost immediately thereafter on Christmas Eve, a really crappy time to fire someone for any reason, but nonetheless demoted to a firefighter. So that's what we have. But here's what's really interesting. So you've got the allegation that, hey, I witnessed or it was reported to me some sexual harassment. I reported that harassment and I was subsequently retaliated against for reporting it, etc. That's very simple facts. The opposite side, though, is going to be more interesting if true. So on February 7th of 22, right after this has all happened, Horton is accused, the male firefighter who reported all this, he's accused of violating the department's harassment policy. It turns out here he's allegedly, I'm quoting, right? Nobody yell at me. So it allegedly he was involved in public urination on a Black Lives Matter flag while on a fire department business trip to Wisconsin. So the department claims to have a photo of the incident. And it was allegedly or coincidentally on that same day where the male firefighter observed the chief engaging in sexually harassing behavior of the female the female. So I'll break this up in a little bit. On the one hand, we have, hey, I witnessed things were reported to me by a female, I reported it, and you're harassing me because you demoted me. On the opposite side is, and I'm going to tell you my impression, which is nothing more than that, but on the opposite side is, yeah, the reason we're firing you, not demoting you, the reason we're firing you is because you did this heinous act and there's a picture of it, etc., and you were acting in the scope of your duties because you were on a business trip with the fire department.
Right, but here's
those things could be true.
Right, but here's the thing that, like, I'm going to try to simplify it even more. Okay, A testifies against B that B was sexually harassing a female. Okay, so A testifies against B. B happens to have some very damaging photo evidence against A. And after B is terminated or resigns or whatever, B now says, why are you going after me? Take a look at what Mr. A just did. And here we have a video of him urinating on a Black Lives Matter flag. Okay. Is that retaliation? You know, you see, you see where, and I think that, you know, these things can get very messy.
And just and to be clear, people have to understand, you know, the test, which you and I talk about all the time, did the action I took, was that a result of a legitimate reason or a non-legitimate reason?
And here's the thing, I think that trip took place in 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now get brought up before?
Why did he wait till 2022 to report it? Because obviously he was mad about being forced to resign.
Right. And
it was retaliation, but it's still, and again, retaliation is one thing or another. It still provides a reasonable basis for some sort of discipline. It still may, because he was,
whether that was the reasonable basis. Right. I mean, this is the question. You may have had very legitimate reasons to discipline, but you didn't use them.
Right. Until.
Right. So that is not acceptable. Storing a bunch of stuff in your back pocket to excuse why you may have allegedly sexually harassed or retaliated against somebody for participating in sexual harassment, just because you can pull stuff out of the past, does not mean that's the reason you're going to terminate. You're just using that to retaliate against them, right? Oh, we knew about this stuff and saved it up. Here we go. That is not how we teach people to do these things.
Exactly.
If true, we don't know.